Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will be learning about asking permission, which is in the 14th unit of our English book. So many times we need to ask permission at school, at home, everywhere. We need to ask permission with our friend to take her pen as well. So this class is going to be really helpful. Let us begin. The topic is asking for permission, which is in the 11th unit, as I mentioned just now. So let's begin by asking you a question about what permission actually is. So what is a permission? Well, a permission is an action of officially allowing someone to do a particular thing. Well, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, permission is an action of officially allowing someone to do a particular thing. So let's write it down. Permission is an action of officially allowing someone to do a particular thing. We generally use the modal verbs. Modal verbs. Here are some examples of modal verbs. That's can, could, may, might. These are the modal verbs, and we make the use of modal verbs while asking for permission. And we have many sentence structures to ask for permission. So let's begin now with the structures of asking for permission. So these structures. So let's begin with the first structure. That's can, I, plus verb. We basically use the word can to ask for permission in an informal way. So this is a very informal form to ask for permission. Can is used to ask permission to do something. So let me note that for you as well. Can is usually in use to ask for permission to do something. Now here's an example. The example, can I have your pencil box? Can I have your pencil box? The another example, can he join us for dinner tonight? Or maybe you can write, can he join us for lunch? So here, notice that we have used the sentence structure can I plus verb. So can I have is a verb, your pencil box, or can he join? Join is another verb. So can he join us for dinner tonight? You're asking someone for permission to do something, to have the pencil box or to join your friend to dinner. So we'll move to another sentence structure. That's the structure starting could. So here's the sentence structure you would want to write. Could I plus verb. Or to be more polite, could I please plus verb. So these are the sentence structure in green. So let me note another thing for you to notice. When you use could for asking permission, could is a more formal than can and polite way of asking for permission. So here's an example. Could we go home now? Could we go home now? Here's another example for you. Could I please ask you a question? So basically, you are being more formal and polite. So could we go home and could I please ask you a question are more polite than can I go home and can I please ask you a question. So it's more polite and more formal. Great. Now we move to another sentence structure, which is the third structure for today. We will be using may. Now the sentence structure for may is again may I plus verb. Now note that may is the most formal way of asking for permission. It's more polite than any other structure. So here's another example for may. What do we ask when we want to go out for a toilet to our teachers? So we ask, may I go to the toilet, sir? Another basic questions we ask, another basic thing that we need permission to do in our class is, may I come in, sir? So these are the most formal ways. We're being formal with our teachers. So traditionally, may I do something has been used for asking permission since so long, right? So we ask, these are the basic questions that we ask for. Moving to another structure, simply you can say, do you think I could plus verb? This is another sentence structure. I'll give you an example. Do you think I could borrow your copy? So this is another way to ask for permission. Do you think I could borrow your copy? Great. You can. So another sentence structure for permission. Would you mind if I plus verb in past? So this is another sentence structure you would want to use. You can simply write or say, would you mind if I took a 2 minutes rest? So you can simply say, would you mind if I took a 2 minutes rest? So notice that here we're making the use of a verb that is in past tense. Would you mind if I plus verb in past tense, that's took a 2 minutes rest. We have another sentence structure as well. So the sixth structure, it's would you mind my plus verb in ing. Okay, let me write a small plus here. Plus your plus object. Here's an example for you. Would you mind my borrowing your copy? Would you mind my borrowing your copy? So here, notice that you are using a structure with would you mind my plus here's a verb in ing. So a verb plus ing. Would you mind my borrow? The ing form of borrow is borrowing, which is the verb plus ing plus your copy. Your, you just write your, and copy is an object, the object. Now, the last sentence structure I have for you today is, would it be possible for me plus infinitive. Remember what an infinitive is? An infinitive is nothing but just writing a to in front of your verb is an infinitive. So here I have an example for you. Would it be possible for me, now you're using an infinitive, to use your pen for a few minutes? So notice the sentence structure. Would it be possible for me to use your pen? So to use is just writing a to in front of a verb, which is an infinitive plus object. To remember, you can also add your here in the structure so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Would it be possible for me to use your pen for a few minutes? And after your, you can have your object. So the final sentence structure becomes, would it be possible for me plus infinitive plus your plus object. So these are the basic sentence structure that you can use to ask for permission. Now here are some basic phrases that grants permission. So you can just grant a permission by saying sure, or maybe you can also say no problem, which also means you have permitted the person. The other way could be just saying go ahead. You can also write please feel free. So these are the cases when you permit the person or grant permission. You can also grant the permission by some statements such as you may do so, you may do something, or you can do something. You can drink water, or you can go to the toilet. So these are the sentence structures to ask for permission. We are going to revisit the class once more. So we first talked about what a permission is. We've already learned about what a permission is and what are the verbs, types of verb that we use to ask permission. That's the modal verbs. These are the modal verbs: can, could, may, might. And we use these verbs to ask for permission. So the first structure was can I plus verb, which is the most informal way of asking for a permission. And we had some examples here, like can I have your pencil box, or can you join us for dinner tonight? These are basically the informal ones because you're using the structure can I. So we moved forward with a little bit more formal form, that's using could. Could is not very formal, but it's one step more than using can. So instead of using can, if you want to sound a little bit more formal, you can make the use of could. So could I plus verb and could I please plus verb. These were the two possible sentence structures for the modal verb could. And the examples were, could I please ask you a question, which is not very polite and formal, but still very polite and formal than can. So another structure was by using may. May I plus verb. This may is the most formal. It's formal. It's very formal. So may I go to the toilet? May I come in, sir? These are usually very commonly used in our daily lives at school. So we're being very formal with our teacher. That's why we are using the sentence structure starting with may. May I go to the toilet, sir? Here's another sentence structure you can use. Do you think I could plus verb. So do you think I could borrow your copy? Another structure, would you mind if I plus verb in past. Whenever you use mind if I, please remember that you need your verb to be in past tense. So would you mind if I took a 2 minutes rest? So if I, mind if I, you're using a past verb in past tense. So you're writing took. Another sentence structure, would you mind my, verb in ing plus your plus object. So here we're using a verb ending with ing as the sentence structure demands us to do that. So would you mind my plus verb in ing. Whenever you see this structure, would you mind my, please use verb ending with ing. For example, would you mind my borrowing your copy? So borrow plus ing. Why? Because you're using the structure you mind my. Would you mind my borrowing your copy? So now finally we have the last structure, that's would it be possible for me plus infinitive plus your plus object. So an infinitive is something that is a verb preceding with a to. So would it be possible for me? This is the structure copied here, plus infinitive. So use plus to. Use is a verb and adding to in front of use it's making it an infinitive. So would it be possible for me to use your pen for a few minutes? So now we also discussed about some phrases to grant permission. If you don't want to permit the person, you can simply say, no, you can't do this, or no, you may not do this. So this is all for today's class. I hope it was really helpful. So here are a few questions for your homework, which I expect you to do. Try asking for permission to your football coach if you can be in his team. Another piece, to ask for a sick leave for 2 days at school. And the final one, to ask for a lift with a bike rider. Please complete your homework, and if you have any difficulties or any queries, you are always free to write to me at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.